A mockingjay is not a real bird.
Sick.
It's inspired by a mockingbird and a jabberjay, which is also part of the mythology of the Hunger Games. Thanks, Google.
Wait, did you say the mythology of the Hunger Games?
That's apparently what we're looking at.
All these young adult novels are trash. You know what's a good young adult novel? Fucking Dragonlance.
Margaret Weiss, Tracy Hickman.
Fucking just a bunch of nerd shit written, loosely adapted from their regular ass D&D sessions.
I feel like it's gonna always be the thing that we come back to, but it's also like it's the last.
Shut up! It's so cool.
It was it's the last thing I read as when I was a kid, and I was like, yeah, this is rad, and then I just left off there.
Kaz the Minotaur got to go on his second book adventure.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean, and you could even take it back to the Knight Huma.
Yeah.
And his original Minotaur.
That was the first book I ever read of any of those.
Yeah.
Which was really confusing.
Ooh, chronological order?
Yeah.
No,
it just happened to be the first one I picked up.
Hmm.
And so in every other book they ever taught, oh man, Huma was the bust. He was so good.
Yeah.
He was so good, he fucked that dragon.
He had no confidence.
Fucked that dragon.
He was so unconfident.
Yeah. But is the coward way, where the dragon turns into a pretty lady?
Yeah. Takesis.
Yeah. No, that's the evil one.
Mm-hmm. What are you talking about?
No,
you're not talking about the villain.
No.
Oh, you're talking about like.
No, he had a girlfriend, man.
Oh, okay, yeah.
She's a dragon.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
She's all silver and shit.
Yeah, I forgot the names of the other characters in that.
Yeah.
But. Yeah.
I remember there was this. You remember the romantic subplot with Tanis, where he's like, "Do I go with the human lady,
Tanis Half Moon,
and
blood.
I'm gonna get really old? Sorry, she's gonna get really
Half
old and
elven
die, and I'm gonna be young and cool, or am I gonna date this cool elf chick, and I'm gonna get really old and die, and she's gonna stay like 25 forever?"
Yep.
And then you see in the sequel book, he made the right decision.
Hmm.
Because that human lady, evil. That's why it was the right decision.
Remember when it was like, there's the Qualinesty, and like there's these like assholish elves that are all up their own ass, and then they go, yeah, you think we're bad? Check out the Sylvanesty.
Holy shit!
And they're like double assholish, super duper fuck you, human fucking fuck. Yeah.
Yeah.
Two types of lithe and annoying elvish fucks. Super beautiful, etc.
Oh my god. So in my I'm pretty tired. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but in my tired state, the neuron pathways don't go in the right directions, and sometimes they just fire off to the side to non-relevant information. I just remembered something that you were laughing to tears about like 10 years ago, which was a photo of Agent Smith with the little Elrond curls from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, it was pretty... Comedy was pretty simple back then. Simple Photoshop. Didn't take much. All I remember
Oh man.
is Hugo Weaving saying Gondor.
Oh man.
Yeah. Hey, did you like Tasselhoff Burfoot?
Tass was great.
He was really cool.
His side book was great.
He was great.
Yeah.
And he was like he's a kender, so he had the top knot, and he would use that was the place where I learned the term wanderlust.
Yeah.
That's where that term
I think that was
came
the name
from.
of his book.
Yeah.
His solo book.
Yeah, and it's what all of his race are afflicted with, where they can't sit still.
That and stealing.
Yes.
Please stop taking my medicine.
Yeah. It's
I need my medicine to live.
It's 100% fantasy realm ADHD, and they can't help it, and they'll like laugh it off and be like, okay.
No, this is totally yours.
And then it's back in their hands somehow. And wait, what? I didn't know. What?
That's crazy.
It was great.
Yeah.
It was great. Kenders are great. And if you happen to go into the trilogy of the future where they had the Joan of Arc girl, and like It was like, you know, like you had how you had the seasons books.
Yeah, yeah.
So then there was the future books of like Dragons of a Forgotten Moon, and I forgot what they're called.
I only read the first of the future ones.
Yeah,
and man, that fourth book, Dragons of Summer, whatever.
yeah. I forget.
It had
they're right there.
it opened my brain eye to one of my favorite concepts still, which was because it's a D&D styled fantasy universe in which anybody who is an adherent to whatever divine patron, whatever, they're gonna fucking do the kinds of things that their alignment chart says they do.
Right.
So the chaotic evil motherfuckers are gonna go chaotic evil to the maximum. And some asshole knight just goes, dude, we would have won that war so good if our leaders hadn't all backstabbed each other to death. Like, we would have crushed that shit.
But we were so full of shit.
We're so evil.
Yeah. Empire style.
Right? And so they're like, what if we just, like, had evil goals?
Yeah, yeah.
But just did them. And then it becomes this, like, 100 times worse new threat.
Because everyone's like, you know, this is really stupid. Yeah, I remember. Yeah. That was Dragons of a Fallen Sun. Right? And then they have a new chick who shows up and like unites all under her banner for the new god.
Yeah, and they're like, what if it was like a real team effort for evil?
Yes.
Like, and we'd win super easy, right? Yeah, we would. And then they totally do.
Coordinate.
They win super easy.
Yeah, the coalition. Everybody get together, have a press conference, let everyone know we're teaming up. No more bullshit, no more backstabbing.
I mean, Christ, this might be a fucking plot point in the future, but what if, like, every single villain in Hero Aka all just, like, was on one conference call?
So, there was a bit like that was in FF10 where it was like, all the stupid little monsters you're fighting, every once in a while, like, because you just wipe through them as you go through the game. And then there's a point where, like, you get attacked by, like, 5 of them. Yeah. But it's, like, 2 birds, 2 robots, and, like, some swamp monsters or whatever. And you're just like, okay, so the coalition has been formed, right? The beasts of the earth.
No, we don't
and the
like
creatures
you.
of the sky and the tech nightmares
robots
have all gotten together and formed a nice little predator, like, yeah, now best friends. And, like, we realize we will all die horribly, but if we do this together, maybe there's a chance. So they're calling out the press conference and taking questions about their new unison, and they get stomped anyway.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. The Jobber Squad. So you said you never went into, like, Dragons of a Lost Star or Vanished Moon after that?
I read, I think, every book that came out up until a certain date, and then it was just over from then on.
Okay. Well, those books continue because, like, or rather, they're pretty much, it's mostly a new cast, and, like, you kind of find out what happens to the old cast, but Tasselhoff is in there the whole time, hanging out, doing his thing. He's just an old fucking Kender now, but he's still in there doing it, and it's great.
Spry.
It's great. Totally awesome. And it's one of those bits where it's just like, you know, he has his moments of being serious when the time comes.
I really need my arthritis medication.
For the most part,
dude, can you seriously?
He's still a fucking Kender asshole.
Yeah.
That's a Dragonlance, man. That was a fun series.
That was a good. Oh man. That's good stuff, man.
Did you ever get into the Ishtar stuff? Where it was like,
I got into the series of books where fucking Raceland's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And time traveled him and his brother back into Ishtar
Time of the Twins, Test of the Twins, War of the Twins.
Yeah.
And so there's a book where they expand on Ishtar entirely, where it's just like, this city was so fucking up its own ass.
Oh, it was so good, though.
That the gods were just like, I'm going to take this mountain and put it on top of you and just pretend you never happened.
Oopsie.
It's a mountain now. Yeah.
Get fucked.
That was a.
The balance, man. Got to keep the balance and whatever. God, do you? I'm gonna fucking
What?
I'm trying to think.
Books?
God, there was a fucking another series of books. You remember Fizban? Right?
Fizban. I never read Fizban books, but I heard tale of Fizban from my DM friend who would tell us about.
Because he shows up in the main series a couple times.
Yeah.
But there was another series of books that was not Dragonlance.
Yes,
that he appeared in.
So hold on a second, because Fizban is just Paladine.
Yeah.
Right? In his masked form. But are you perhaps thinking of Fistandantilus?
No. That's a different guy.
Oh, are you not?
That was Raceland's fucking...
No. Fistandantilus is not even Dragonlance.
Wait, really?
I think Fistandantilus was like it's like another wandering wizard dude from a different realm entirely. I never read any of those books.
I think... God, what the fuck was it? What was it? The fucking Seeker? No. Oh, fucking... It's gone now. We're talking...
Am I fucking it up? I am fucking it up. No, I mixed up the names there. Okay.
Fistandantilus was the guy that Raceland was a huge fan of.
Yes, that's what it was. What am I thinking of then?
I don't know.
There's another mage that was like a popular mage.
Because there was a fucking
had a bunch of
series book that was
about
like Discworld, but it wasn't like Discworld. It was elemental based. I think it was done by Margaret.
Was it Margaret Weiss?
Maybe. Tracy Hickman. It was about this asshole that didn't have magic, but he had a sword that ate magic.
Elminster.
Oh no, that's the D&D guy. That's
yes.
Straight up Forgotten Realms.
That's who I was thinking of.
Yeah, you're thinking Elminster.
The fucking...
Because I'm pretty sure Elminster shows up in like Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, he's got like a million books. Elminster in Hell.
Yeah.
And then Elminster does this, and Elminster fucks off. Elminster makes a sandwich.
Elminster fucks off. That was the name of the book. Did you just say?
Yeah.
That's a good book.
Yeah, I remember that every time I would go to the bookstore, or to the comic store actually, and I'd go to the Dragonlance section, I'd have to scroll my hand past a bunch of Elminster books and Drizzt.
People in our chat are going like Black Clover. I'm like, guys, we are talking about like 94. Like 95 tops.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Never did Wheel of Time. I heard a lot of good things about it.
Wheel of Time was really good, and then you hit book 8 and 9, and Jordan decided that plot threads don't need to be finished; they just need to be continued forever. And the first, I think it was 8 or 9, whichever one. The first like entire chapter is like a conversation between two main characters about the state of global politics, and it lists off like 200 characters. And I was like, I don't know if I can handle this, man.
Ouch.
This is a lot.
Okay. So I'm not going to lie, there's moments where Legend of the Galactic Heroes kind of has those conversations. And at first you're like, who is that? Oh God, right?
I don't know who that is.
Because I'm gonna be real with you. By the end, there's a cast of maybe 50 characters.
Yeah.
That are like generals, sub-generals, politicians, soldiers, crew, right? So like, you know how like, you know, whatchamacallit, 0079, you learn pretty much the entire staff,
the crew
of the White Base. You learn so it's one of those things where you get to know the entire staff, right? And then you get to know the entire villain lineup, and then you get to know the entire like neutral third party lineup, and then the chess pieces change. So by the end you're looking at a bunch of like anime multicolored hair. Like, there's the guy with the green hair, there's the guy with the blue hair, there's the red-haired kid, the blonde-haired kid, he's a good kid, and like, you just go through it, but that slow burn of too much information eventually becomes, like, very coherent and just the best thing. It's almost like how Game of Thrones starts off with too many players, and then starts to fix that problem over time.
Over time? More like immediately.
Yeah, sure. But I remember somewhere in like I think maybe it was the second or third season where like the the camera would jump around to follow like 5 different parties while they were up to their shenanigans. And it was like, man, I really only care about 2.5 of these parties, right? So every one of the kids is up to their own thing, and then each Lannister is up to their own thing, and maybe we'll also go check in with a fucking Greyjoy every once in a while. And it was like, oh, we could do with like no Greyjoys and like half of those kids, you know?
I have an answer to my earlier Fizzband confusion.
Sure.
There is a book series called The Deathgate Cycle.
The Deathgate Cycle. I've definitely heard of the Deathgate Cycle.
Written by Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman.
Yes.
Which follows a fucking goddamn bunch of characters, but more importantly, there's a wizard in it called fucking Zifnab.
Oh, really? They just
who
brought
has
him back in.
and he's like, "What's your name?" And he's like, "Fizz, I mean Zifnab," straight up. And when asked about this, the quote is, "The answer is that Fizzban is a crazed wizard owned by TSR under copyright, while Zifnab is a completely different crazed wizard owned by Margaret and I."
But isn't it all? But hold on, didn't that also take place on Kryn?
No, that took place in its own goofy ass universe. It was all like every planet's an element. It was like Shadow Raiders.
I thought it took place on Kryn. Okay, so it really was its own separate thing that
completely owned,
license,
completely owned, 100% different thing. We promise.
Okay, so I remember,
fuck,
I remember my friend that got me into all of these told me that they would hold on a second. When asked for his name, he says, "Fizz, nope, can't use that one."
Yeah, straight up.
That's hilarious. He literally said, "Oh, can't use that." That's great. That's really good. So Zifnab, yeah, okay. Well, anyway, I was gonna say that the most impressive thing I remember hearing was that they're a writing team, but like part of the magic of the writing team was also that their stories were just campaigns.
Yep,
they played out.
The one that I remember
and
the most
converted
vividly
into manuscripts
is that they wanted to use a charm on a gnome to get through some sequence and accidentally rolled a natural 20, which caused the charm spell to become permanent. And then that became that character.
And the gnome was obsessed
and became a like NPC.
Oh, who was she in love with? Was it Raceland?
I believe it was Raceland.
It was Raceland, right? Yeah, he had a little gnome
fangirl.
Fangirl, yeah, and she'd never leave his side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, did you ever read the one where the 13 gnomes get trapped on the magic moon?
No.
Oh, dude, it's so awesome.
Which one of the moons?
The
Nuitari?
I forget
Lunitary?
which one, but one of them. I think it's the red one.
Solinari?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
But they all get random magical bullshits, and one of them has like a rain cloud over his head the whole time.
Wow.
Which is where they get fresh water to not die. But then he's like getting like super depressed because his clothes are like melting off, and he is literally being rained on 24 hours a day.
That's fucked. I remember they go to Thor Barden, the dwarf home, I think. And if I'm not mistaken, it's the plot is the same as every dwarf plot.
Yeah.
Which is, fuck you and your kind. We're going to do our machining.
We're going to do our digging.
We don't need your help. And it's like, no, but you're all going to die, though, if you don't listen to us. And it's like, we've been fine for years.
Yeah.
Also,
literally every single fucking dwarf plot line in everything.
Yep. And this time around, twist is they hate Kender. Too, because Kender Steele.
But Flint and Tass are besties.
But it was rough going at first.
Oh, man.
Right? Something about a dwarven woman having a good beard you can hold on to.
Well, that's a Gimli thing.
Right?
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, they fucking hated Kenders, I remember.
Oh, God. So you didn't play Mass Effect 2, right?
No.
So in Mass Effect...
Race hatred?
in Mass Effect 2 or 3, I forget which one, but I remember the dialogue.
Like the actual definition of racism when two different alien races are...
but you ask somebody, I think it's 2, you ask a Turian, like the bird-looking dudes, how come I don't see any chick Turians anywhere? And they go, Saren, dumbass. and Shepard goes, what? He goes, nah, I'm just kidding. No, you guys wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
Oh, that's interesting.
Right? It's like, I'm just messing with you. But it's like,
they don't have our sexual traits.
yeah, they're not as dimorphous as humans are.
Sure.
So you wouldn't be able to tell.
Totally.
But it's this nice little fucking, like, oh, humans always fall for this one.
What's the there's a bunch of that in Star Trek too, right?
Oh, don't even get me started.
Okay, well, I'm not trying to, but I do. All I know is that, like, there's that the Cardassians, not Kardashians, are like,
you know what, it's interchangeable. You can do whatever.
Sure.
They're evil.
Kim Ye hates all is it Worf or is it it's the
this sucks.
Hold on. I know his race. Worf's race is the
this sucks.
It's the Klingon.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Klingon. There you go. Right, I forgot for a second. Right. They hate each other, right?
The Cardassians and the Klingons?
Yeah.
Yeah, in general.
They have a super long war.
Yeah, they do in DS9. They got beef. Mainly because one is a bunch of dirtbags and the other is honor, but also dirtbags.
And they just can't get along.
No, they don't get along. No. Blanking on Klingon, huh?
I blanked on Klingon.
The single most famous fantasy race of all time. Except for elves, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
The Wharf. What's the Wharf?
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck.
I think Ferengi actually is a name that burrowed in there.
Ferengi are weird because they were terrible, and then Quark. And then Quark is the shit. And then the Ferengi are saved.
I wonder what the most popular alien races are.
Alien
overall.
race?
Klingon is pretty high up there. If we were playing Family Feud, it would be pretty fucking high up there.
Take a hot lady. All right? You got a hot lady in your mind?
Oh, okay. We're not talking about
Blue.
the Roddenberry style.
Blue. Now she's blue, you're done. There you go.
Wait, hold on. You don't think Vulcans are more popular than Klingons?
Hell no. People don't like Vulcans.
But isn't it more well known because?
No, they're lame. They're fucking lame.
No, but Klingons didn't become what they are until like that. They had to switch over from the black and white weirdos into the things that we saw.
I don't know what you are saying. I literally don't know what you are talking about.
Old Star Trek.
Yeah.
Spock and fucking Kirk.
Right.
Introduced Vulcans.
That's right.
So therefore that was out there from that point.
That's correct.
Okay. Now Klingons
showed
up in that world in a completely different aesthetic.
Yes, they did.
They had a weird black and white face thing.
No.
What did they look like?
They look like dudes with mustaches.
Okay, they look like they
look like dudes with mustaches.
Okay, never mind then. Forget the black and white thing. That's something else entirely.
That's a completely different thing.
That's
a racism analogy episode because it's actually two different races.
Awesome.
One has the black on the left side and the other has black on the right side.
Yes, totally not that. Okay, got it. So this when they were just had mustaches.
Yeah.
And they were nowhere near as popular as Vulcans when they were introduced in that context.
That's right. Right up until Star Trek II, where they became the Klingons that you are familiar with.
Yes. Now you think that overtook the popularity of Vulcans from back then?
Instantly.
Oh yeah? Okay.
Instantly.
Okay. Yeah. It's
and then they got Christopher Lloyd to play an evil Klingon in the third one.
It's one of those bits where I'm like inclined to think that like stuff that comes from the from the old era is just in the
So-
mindset of the people. It's in the zeitgeist harder than the new thing.
I'm gonna steal like a comment because it's dead on.
Yeah.
And it's Vulcans are so space elves that Romulans are literally dark space elves.
Romulans too. That's true. Yeah.
It's literally just dark elves.
Yeah, they hate each other too.
They don't like each other.
Yeah, I remember that.
Because like the Vulcans are all like, oh, be calm and logical and shit,
Yeah.
and then the Romulans are like, that shit's for pussies. Conquer it, bitches.
So you would put
Top of the list for Star Trek. It's Klingons. Okay, they're at the top of the sci-fi.
All sci-fi.
And then if you want to go fantasy, I guess the elves are winning out.
See,
Because people like elves and they're all willowy and shit,
okay, but maybe like
doing a tree.
I think Wookiees are way up there.
Fucking, you're insane. There's
they
one
not?
good Wookiee, Zalbar.
It's not the point. I'm not saying how good they are. I'm saying how many people that don't care about sci-fi know about
Well,
them.
luckily enough,
Like this entire discussion has nothing to do with the quality of the characters and everything to do with just their mind space in the population of planet
well,
Earth.
luckily enough, Star Wars isn't sci-fi.
Okay. Well,
Hey,
okay.
That's cheap. I'm not going to use that.
Okay, if Wookiees are not popular, okay.
Well, no, I mean, in Star Trek, I'd say Star Wars they are, but like Star Trek. So
I have no idea. I'm just
we're
throwing
talking
out
about
my-
Star
my
Trek and
feelings
Star
on
Wars,
this.
which is really upsetting to me because both became like fucking incredibly terrible in the early aughts. Right? Like, you want to fucking put a cap on the quality of these things? Fucking stop at the new millennium.
Is a xenomorph the most popular alien? Can anyone be able to call it a xenomorph?
99% of people don't know that thing's called the Xenomorph.
No, they're just it's the
alien
It's
from the Alien movie.
Aliens from Aliens, yeah, definitely. E.T.
Fuck E.T. E.T.'s a bitch.
E.T.'s gone though.
Yeah, E.T. died.
E.T.'s not around anymore.
E.T. died of
When I was
space-
growing up, E.T.
space
was
stuff.
very much in
Well,
the mind share, but now that's gone. Yeah, I guess so. So when it comes to sci-fi,
Yeah.
are you putting like what's your top 3?
Top 3?
Yeah, is it all Star Trek for top 3 in
No, it wouldn't. It'd be Klingons for sure at the top, and then you'd get. I don't even care enough to go for 2 and 3. I'll be
All right.
honest. Sci-fi is so shitty. Every sci-fi is terrible, except for the ones that are okay.
I don't
The
know.
worms from Dune.
Are you crazy? Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, that's it goes Klingons, then the worms from Dune.
Generic Martians. You know, full on X-Files.
Yeah, the Mars Attacks assholes.
Mars Attacks.
Yeah, there it is. That's
They're-
the 3 most popular.
Most popular ever.